I do this for my culture, to let them know what a nigga look like when a nigga in a roaster.
Good morning, this is the For the Culture podcast. I'm here with Zach the Great. Just go ahead and just explain exactly what you do and how you got started.
I'm Great Zach Tate, publisher and author, motivational speaker, screenwriter, gangster guru, street sage, father, uncle to about 25 people, and brother to about 39 other people. So, in the book business, the way I got started was I was incarcerated serving 20 years. And there was a book that came out called Be More Careful by Shannon Holmes. And everybody was going crazy about this book. At the time, my wife was pregnant, my current wife was pregnant, and I needed to find a way to provide for my child instead of selling dope in prison. So I said, everybody's going crazy about this book, then I could put a book out. Wrote a book in 3 weeks, put it out, sold 30,000 copies. That was No Way Out, which is now called Street Obsession. So from there, writing, I found it to be the most liberating and freeing thing that I ever experienced in my life. It was, the only way that I could escape the confines that I was in, because it was pretty brutal where I was at. And, the confinement was just brutal for me. I'm a mani-pedi type of guy. I'm not, being confined is just not cool for me. So, writing just really helped me gain wings, and I put in that work on that first book. And with the help, Darren Coleman, we'll never forget Darren Coleman in that, the Don. He really came through and we put it together and we made it happen. And then we made a lot of classics from there. When you watch Power, if you go read Lost and Turned Out, read Lost and Turned Out, which was out 15 years before Power, you'll see where Power came from.
Okay. I knew there was an inspo. I knew it. I'm like, it has to come from like.
How would someone go about to getting a book deal? Deals to like.
I wouldn't even be interested in the book deal. For this generation, you have the ability to be entrepreneurs more so than any other generation in history. You have the ability to skip college and get Google and YouTube to teach you. Me and my daughter are fighting now because the average semester, and this is my message to all the youth, the average semester is going to take you about 12 weeks, 14 weeks, right? Each class average an hour, 2 hours each, right? If you minimize and cut down the fluff of every class and get to the juice of what will help you in your career, which most people don't apply their degree to what they're actually doing right now. So you have probably about 16 hours of information, right? Which means if I sit on YouTube and Google for 3 days and just watch that topic, that subject, I'll be more educated than what that college gave me. So why should I pay $100,000, $200,000 in debt when I can sit in my house, smoke a joint, and watch YouTube, Google, and be taught everything those professors was teaching me, and utilize the internet to create my product or service, build a business, and work from there.
So you're anti-school or just?
Well, remember, everything you ask me is going to open another door, right? So there's a difference between education and indoctrination. Our school system creates indoctrination. If you are wealthy and have the ability to go to an Ivy League situation, then you are receiving an education. One, indoctrination is created so you can serve the masters. Education is to bring out the best in you so you can become the master. So 90% of the individuals who are billionaires and lead the markets and are masters of our universe are individuals that were passionate about something, or through nepotism, family members gave them something and was handed down, so they received the education that was outside of school to run this business in the first place. So I'm all pro education. I'm just anti-indoctrination.
Okay.
And when I become a billionaire, my goal is to create boarding schools for wayward boys to create masters of this universe.
So like when you talked about being in the streets like early in
Yeah.
your life. So were you like, did you take interest in like English and literature and stuff like that, or was that something you learned
In the
later?
street life?
No, just like as a youngin.
As a
Is
youngin,
that
I
something-
come from a Jamaican family. I'm the first one born in America. So I come from a crime family. When you watch The Godfather, that's my family, the Jamaican version. My father was like the Don. So when you come from that and you had the experience of seeing $1 million in cash that your pops is counting up by hand, it kind of motivates you differently. However, my mother is a strict Christian who didn't want anything to do with illegal money, which is very ignorant of her. Because crime pays. Street opportunists don't pay. But Bush and all them show you crime pays. So if we would have used those millions of dollars towards business, which my father actually was doing, he just wasn't about his business full time. That wasn't the focus. Their position is, well, go foreign, we're going to tear it down, and make all the money we're going to make and come back. That's how they looked at it. They didn't look like the Kennedys. We're going to do this illegal, we're going to build an empire, and this is how our kids never have to do nothing illegal again. So, with that being said, I also grew up in a family business, a plumbing business. I started when I was 7 years old. I never had weekends. I don't know. I played my first game of full court basketball at 21 years old.
Yeah.
Still don't know how to ball. Don't know how to swing a bat. I never did none of that. I was working, and any other time in the street selling drugs, pitching drugs, delivering drugs, or shooting somebody. So that was my life growing up. However, because of my father's influence and the business that he owned, he stressed education, going to school. He stressed outside of the classroom education. So school was easy, you know what I mean? So just understanding, but by no means that rough draft that I wrote for that book was not really prime writing. You know, that's when Darren Coleman came in and said, this is structured, this is what this is
how you're
called,
supposed to do
and
it.
this is what this is called. And a brother, Cole Gangster from Fort Greene, shout out to J-Rock. J-Rock said to me when he read my book, he said, this book is trash, right? Never heard that. Everybody was just praising this book, crazy. And he came along and said, this is trash. I was like, what you mean it's trash? I sold 30,000 copies in 90 days. Ain't no trash, everybody love it. He said, where's the justification in this? Where's the syntax? You're using this word, and what's this? And he was teaching me structure. And it blew my mind. I was like, how do you even know all this? Mm-hmm. Well, there's a thing called a box. In New York, it's called a shoe. And TV, they call it the hole. Mm-hmm. So J-Rock was in there for 9 years straight, 24 hours, confinement, fighting out with the police. And all he did was study writing. The whole time, 24/7, writing. And that's how being a gangster in prison, you know. And he was teaching me structure. And I bought like 25 books on writing structure. And that's why when I write to this day, I might have 8 rewrites. And people, when they read my stuff, they say, yo, your stuff is on a whole different level. I thought it was a hood book. Mm-hmm. So let me clarify that real quick. Mario Puzo's The Godfather, critically acclaimed work of literature, is what they call it, right? It's a hood book, right? It's about people doing crime, selling drugs, committing murder in the streets of New York with names of street people. They would never call it a hood book because it's a white author.
Yeah.
Right? So what blacks did is they ran with it. Oh, it's a hood book. Because so many of these frauds is, oh, I'm an author. You ain't no author, you wrote something. You ain't no author. Yeah. You don't write because you have to. Characters ain't waking you up in the middle of the night and demanding to be written. You wrote one piece of work because we all dumbed down. You know, writing has become like hip hop. Mm-hmm. You got Tekashi 6ix9ine.
Yeah, it's all gimmicks now.
It's impossible. when hip hop is supposed to be about lyrics.
Like J. Cole.
J. Cole is lyrical.
Yeah.
That's somebody that showed you I put effort, hard work into what I do.
Okay.
But because it sounds good and everybody dumbed down, everybody like it. Do what they do.
What kind of programs have you introduced to the youth? Like, you mentioned the Boys to the organization.
Me?
Yes, the organization. Like, do you have any organizations set for the youth?
Well,
Like
I have a
based on
seminar, I have a workshop,
Okay.
and I have a presentation.
Okay.
So let's start with the presentation. Presentation is when I go in front of a group of kids and I do 3 different characters, right, of myself. And that's the street hood dude with the hood, with the flag, with the showing them, this is what you want to do, this is your choices, your consequences, and what's at stake. Then I go into my prison uniform where I show them this is the consequence of you wanting to be this. You glorify this, you bought that life, you want that Draco, this is what's gonna happen. And then I show them with my suit and tie, this is what real life is about. And this is what other option and choice you could have taken. Because what's in the street is a business. Street business is business. We as a culture just don't approach selling dope as a business. So with that being said, that's my presentation. My workshop is 12 weeks long. It's called Who Are You Really? Critical Analysis. It's basically breaking down how you became you versus your image and your true self, who you really are inside, what is your destiny, and it helps you tap into what is your purpose in life. And it equips you with business, mindset, survival, conflict resolution, and the ability to think and be comfortable with yourself, right? And then the seminars are when somebody comes in, what I did for the Brother Free Love, like they say, well, come in and do a seminar, talk to the kids about consequences, what's at stake, choices, in real life, what I call real career day, because they send you to school for 12 to 18 years for a career that lasts 20, 25 years. Where's the education on how to get through real life?
I was just about to bring that up, that we go through high school, but when you get out of high school, nobody tells you about the street or life, like
Taxes.
That's what I do. I tell you about real life.
I feel like they need to put that in the school system too.
No, that would make you not a worker. We need workers.
Oh, it's okay. See what
We
I'm
need
saying?
workers.
I know, but it's
We
really
need you to
important.
go out and spend money you don't have on things you don't need to impress people you don't know. That's what we need you to do. We need you to work every day diligently to destroy yourself so they can make their billions and control the world, and you can be distracted with turning up while they introducing a new disease to kill you.
Yeah.
So for the book We the Blacks, explain exactly what that is and what that.
Okay, so we jumping around, but no problem. We the Blacks is a book that was birthed from the first book, the Caucasian Handbook. The Caucasian Handbook was inspired by Charlemagne because there were things that whites were doing that blacks weren't okay with. And there's some disparity and some confusion. So if my white homeboy that grew up in Bedford-Stuyvesant, Brooklyn, in the hood, in the projects, come out of Marcy, all white, but he got gold fronts, and he say, yo, what up, my nigga? Yo, my nigga, yo, nigga. People gonna have a problem with that, right?
Mm-hmm.
He's not saying I'm racist, he's saying this is my culture. And we have placed race on culture, which you can't do. That's what the Jews of today did. They took race, they took a culture and applied it to their race. No, Jews are Jews. The real Jews is darker than my shoes. So what we can't do is take a culture, which is hood culture, and say it's subjected to a race. But because the media, for your generation, you guys are directly in the matrix because you grew up being babysitted by media, some form of media. So to clear that up, the Caucasian Handbook was a book for every white person that's confused about blacks, how to deal with us and how to end racism. We the Blacks is basically a rewrite of that same book saying, black people wake up. You gods, you ain't niggas. However, this is how you end racism. And that's what We the Blacks is about. Is a comprehensive guide for blacks to remember their pride and their greatness while allowing white people to feel comfortable about it. Because we really don't want no problems with y'all. We just want y'all to leave us alone. Just let me do my lane and stay out my lane. Because I don't have a problem with white people. Actually, most black people don't have a problem with white people. What we have a problem with is always being under the guise of being suspicious. I really have a problem with y'all fucking with my God. Y'all keep painting this Jesus as white. Let's stop that. Okay, it was cool when the British ruled and everybody was poor and only the rich ruled, and you took Michelangelo's cousin's picture and you posted it through media all over the world because y'all was in control. Now we have at a click of a button, generations could learn really where's Jesus from, where's Nazareth, and see, these is Africans. Let's stop playing these games. So if you controlling my God, you controlling my money, my currency got your pictures on it, you controlling my institutions, you need to start adapting stuff that apply to me. Because if I'm going to have an audience, I have to have something where I'm addressing the language of my audience. And we're not doing that. So We the Blacks is really trying to get Oprah to read it and say, yo, everybody needs to read this.
Yeah.
Because this is how we end racism. Racism is a commitment to ignorance. The invention of the white man, that terminology was so that rich white slave masters, the poor whites that lived exactly like the slaves, needed some type of institution to feel that they were on the same level as the master. So we white. Can't have that nigga doing that. So now he don't feel so bad about being oppressed by the master. He's giving him some pride, some ego. That's all it is. It's ego. You better. You ain't better. Come on, you know how you gonna be better? We taught you how to walk, eat, bury your dead, how to cook, how to farm. You ain't know none of that. Y'all come from the mountains. Ain't nothing growing in the mountains. You can't bury nothing in the mountains. Ice. You down here. You originated right here. And if you love Christianity, you love the Bible, it's coming out of Egypt. These people leaving for out of Egypt. Ain't no way melanoma would have been killing their ass, skin cancer would have been killing them. Y'all know where y'all coming from. Let's stop playing, man. The Bible tells you, man, these is Africans about Africans, and y'all done excursion and came back down and loved the devil and, you know, survival of the fittest. Y'all did your thing. And I don't knock it. Black people don't have the luxury to knock white people's wealth. What we could do is say, let us keep our own wealth. Let us do our own, just leave us alone.
Yeah.
And the way you say that politically is by your political candidates stepping up and implementing policy that affects all people. Criminal justice system affects all people. You know, I come from a Republican conservative background because my father, Elijah Muhammad, Malcolm X, Marcus Garvey, Noble Drew Ali. These are individuals that said we don't need them. We do for ourselves. Our people will spend the money to take care of ourselves. So let's keep everything right. We don't need no homosexuality. We don't need no conversions. We don't need no disrespect. We don't need this, that, and other. And no disrespect to homosexuals, because I'm the biggest lesbian you're going to ever find. But just the conservative viewpoint of independence, of us taking care of ourselves. So when you look at somebody like Barack Obama, who comes into office, he didn't have the wherewithal to say, I'm a black man who's going to implement and make change for black people. No, he said, I'm a president who happens to be black. He did a great job at being a president, showing class, but you know, people would try to kill me for this, but he never had the black experience. He had the foreigner coming to America, assimilating to American experience. So for him to be deep rooted in blackness, he probably wouldn't have got elected.
So you feel like if it would have been a big difference if it was like somebody who came from the streets that became the president?
Right. somebody more vocal. I can't
Who have
think. I
understanding.
can't think of nobody but
background.
myself.
Yeah.
Right.
But from my understanding too, the president is just a puppet. It's really the Congress pretty much that you have to go by to get the laws passed and everything.
So this is what the president is. The president of the United States of America represents America. America is a business.
Mhm.
That's what we the blacks teach you. America is a business. We the people who founded this country are landowners who created the Constitution, Declaration of Independence, so on and so forth. The way that it worked many years ago is only the privileged received the ability to read or write.
Mhm.
That's why Negroes wasn't allowed to read.
Read and
It was
write.
illegal because these crackers wasn't allowed to read. They couldn't afford it.
I felt like they feared us too,
Right.
Because we're
Of course.
superior.
Of course, because we taught them how to read and write.
Mhm.
So now, for them, the landowners, to say we are building a government. Remember, America is immigrants. America is
Yeah, that's
was
what makes
founded-
that's what makes
Based
America.
Right.
That's why I don't understand why Donald Trump said that.
Well, you gotta understand Donald Trump is rhetoric, but we can talk about him later.
Yeah.
Well, he gotta sell what he gotta sell to do what he came in there to do.
True.
He's just more arrogant about it.
Mhm.
And I love it. I love it. If a buffoon like this, he's exposing America for what it is.
Mhm.
Every day. It's not the science, but back to your original statement. These masters of the universe and landowners that created these doctrines, these are criminals that was kicked out of Britain. They were put on boats, told get up out of here. And they found their way here where they met Africans, who they call Native Americans. Right? So when you read We the Blacks, you see that the Nile and the currents of the sea, you could put a bottle in it and end up in North America.
Mhm.
Right? Same way we travel all over the world. Right? So now these people who founded this country said, we are creating doctrine to run business. If each of you go out today and create an LLC and a corporation and put your car and your house and your clothes and you write it all off, you're moving the way America was built to move. That's what America was designed for.
The American dream.
Right. It wasn't designed for you to just go spend money aimlessly. No, you write that shit off. You can't write it off, you don't spend it. Right?
Mhm.
Because you have to be a business. So, I forgot your original question. And you probably did too. So,
What I said something about
We kinda went.
the president being back
a
on the
puppet.
street.
Right.
Yeah, puppet.
So now, these individuals who grew up and have billions of dollars, right? 50, 60 billion dollars, right? They're not concerned about the individual running the government. What they're concerned is about the influences that they have to protect their interests. So what a president is, he's an executive. He's the CEO of politics, corporations, and social programming throughout the whole country.
And Congress is his board that he
Right.
has to go through to, okay,
makes sense.
after this work, how can I get this across? How can I do
As
this?
you put
Right.
it like that.
Okay.
And his job is to say, I have to hire the right administrators to govern all these bodies. Because I have an agenda, and my agenda is my campaign promises. Right? Which is never the agenda.
Yeah.
So now to get all this done, there's so much politics involved. Quid pro quo, do something for something. He got to do something for me to give him something. She got to do something to get. We all got to, one hand wash the other, both hands wash the face, times a million. And you're supposed to be the general at the helm to say, I put you in charge of this guy, that's in charge of that guy, in charge of that guy, in charge of that guy. That comes all the way down to us. And then you say, these are the policies. So fuck all that arguing y'all doing. Here's the policy.
Figure it
Oh,
out.
it's not me. It's the policy. It's not me. It's the policy. I'm the policy maker. I'm the CEO. I run this shit. You understand what I'm saying? So for Barack Obama to say, listen, all the people that y'all gave 3 and 4 and 500 life sentences to because they were selling dope, that's all retroactive. We're getting rid of that. We are not a nation who represents this draconian and devilish mindset where we are killing people because they were selling drugs. He served 30 years, he coming home. Everybody across the board.
So you
And you
think
got
he
a
should
white
have did that?
Right? No. The one thing I asked Barack Obama to have done is to remember that he was in charge of the Justice Department. And the man, the brother that he put in charge of the Justice Department wasn't there. When you become a CEO or executive of a company, you ain't there to make friends. The code of conduct is you clean house. Because what you saw before you got there was flawed. So you implement your people to affect change so that we can elevate to the next level. So when he put the brother in front of the Department of Justice, that brother didn't say, why are 294 unarmed black men being murdered by a police officer with no repercussions? No. If they would have set examples with the first 5 or 10 people, we wouldn't have had 294. And it's still counting.
I think the only thing he did was try to make better training for the police officer or something like that.
Not even that. He assigned some policies that allowed him to have military-style weapons.
Yes, which is,
Right?
I feel is completely unnecessary.
Why do you feel it's unnecessary?
I feel that's unnecessary because, like, why do we have to have tanks and all this combat gear for regular civilians? Like,
Okay,
what,
you
what
made
are
a
we
statement.
doing? What are we doing that we need that type?
I'm going to give you the answer, but you made a statement, right? And then you answered the statement with a question. So let's revisit it for a second. Why do you feel we don't need those type of weapons?
For
For
civilians.
Why do you feel for civilians?
Because I feel that it's the people that are in charge. Like, it would be different. It would be different if there was people that were the people that have access to this armor. They're under charge of people who are very arrogant and don't make good decisions, and it can endanger other people that aren't doing anything at all.
Okay, this is why reading blacks is necessary for you to read and should be called curriculum across the nation. What is the purpose of the police?
To protect and serve
Who?
us, the people.
Absolutely not.
What?
They are here to serve the masters of the universe. And I keep using masters of the universe because I want you to think of some He-Man, mystical, crazy construct.
Elaborate.
They are here to protect the rich. When the niggas start acting up, tanks is going to put them in check. And when I say the niggas, I'm not talking about a race. I'm talking about a mentality and a group of people. Police officers, where's the camera, over here?
Yeah.
Police officers are poor people trying to make a living and create a better life for their family. That's what police officers are. Poor people keeping poor people in check, right? When the billionaires say we are implementing more oppressive policies, right? We're taking your school education, we're not funding y'all, or we're taking away rent stabilization, or we're cutting back welfare, or we're killing Planned Parenthood. The minute people organize and start revolting, they need to be able to keep you in check. The reason you have tanks is because the military companies that create these tanks have government contracts. It's like a car dealership. We come out with new models every 4 years. Somebody got to buy them. So we buddy, you my man, you in the government, I make the tanks, you buy the tanks. I kick you back some money, it kicks back all the way up to the president. Now, I got 1,600 tanks. What the fuck I'm gonna do? Okay, so in all rural areas across this country, farming was the industry, right? They produced, everybody from that state ate it up. Whatever they produced got eaten up by the people in that state. So here come Reaganomics. Even a little before Reaganomics, they start shipping trade agreements. All our cantaloupes will come from Guatemala. All our flowers will come from Venezuela and Argentina. So now the farming industry cuts down. How do the farmers eat? What happens if you stop them from farming? Now you create government subsidies, right? Where you pay the farmers not to farm. If you make X amount of crops, you get X amount of savings in tax, and the government will kick this back to you. So we paying you not to farm. So what we're doing is putting you on welfare, right? Nationally, all these farmers, nationally.
They're not making as much.
Now this is nothing new, because when you go back a few hundred years, the government gave white men acres of land just for being a white man. Here go 50 acres, here go 200 acres, yours. Because we got to make sure all these new immigrants we creating, because they was already here. Don't believe all them slave ships came over. Some of them did, but Africans was already here. They named them Native Americans. So now, when the farming dies out in these rural areas, these people get poor. What happens when people get poor?
Start to do crime.
They get angry.
Yeah, they want to figure out how to.
They get angry and say, you tricked us. It takes 10 years to figure it out. You tricked us. We need to revolt. We need to form our militias, and we're going to kill some government people, blow up some Oklahoma buildings. We're going to do some shit that's going to piss y'all off, right? So now, what the government says is, they poor, they dirt poor. You go through these rural areas all through America, you're going to see some poor, white, angry people. Hence the reason why Trump got elected. He spoke to that language. He blamed somebody else for your anger. No, it's government policies. Because they're saying, niggas is living better than us, and we're supposed to be better. Right? And as the smart ones go, this is a game. You understand? We the same, we catching the same hell. So now, what the government says is, okay, you in Miami committing a crime. You getting sentenced to 20 years. We gonna build a prison on that farmland. How many people in this county that farm? Or 300 people. Ain't but 300 houses up in them little places.
Yeah.
Right?
Possibly.
Okay, good. We need 600 to run a prison. We hiring. They hiring. Oh, jobs. What a job means is a career. What a career means is for the next 25 years, I don't have to worry about where my check is coming from. I can own my pickup truck. I can buy my flash screen. My grandson can do the same thing. His grandson can do the same thing. That's what industry coming to a area means, right? So now that jail is an industry. That prison is an industry. You committed a crime in the city, but they ship you 150 miles away. Any prison. Pick a state, show me the city, and show me where the prisons is at. I guarantee you it's 100 miles away from that city. Because those farmers needed jobs. So now what happens is, it's literally like dudes with big nets running through the hood, snatching dudes and throwing them in prison. Why? Because they pull back aid for police in the hood. Every budget says this is going to this environment, this environment, this environment. No. We don't need no more police over here. What happens with the absence of police?
Crime.
Crime goes up.
What they call crime. Because the same act in the rural area, you don't think ain't no cocaine, crack, and drugs up in them farming ass areas?
FBI,
No.
the government is the one who brought that to the cities and stuff.
That's true.
So now, what happens is, in the rural areas, Toby, what you doing with that cocaine? This is the sheriff talking to Toby.
He's gonna put that away.
Man, I'm gonna tell you,
Yeah.
we got Toby over here with 2 kilos of cocaine. Toby, I'm gonna let this slide.
Yeah.
Don't sell that cocaine. Or Toby, where's my kickback?
If you got crack, you doing 20.
Give me my kickback. And then Toby says, ain't enough money in this farming area. I'm going down the city to keep the niggas in check. And he becomes Officer Toby, which we the blacks discuss. He becomes Officer Toby. He don't know nothing about hood environment. He see us, motherfucker, oh shit, they about to fight. They gonna kill each other. No, this is how we express each other. We Africans, we emotional, we passionate. This is how we argue. Ain't no fight. What are you talking about? And he done escalated a situation that was just simple to us. It's simple, everyday dynamics. Your mom's called you because the police, because he's just a rag. They come kill him because they don't know how to understand the culture. They're not hiring people from there. So what happened when that prison dynamics and model started working, they should start building more prisons. And then you hear war on drugs. Why? Because they need prisoners. They need to lock people up. And then it comes out later, well, we was putting the cocaine in the neighborhoods in the first place. Iran-Contra affair. Yeah, we sold drugs for weapons and we traded. And it just so happened Freeway Ricky Ross blew the whistle on us. Yeah, we was putting cocaine all through all the hoods for the crack epidemic. We are creating prisoners, that's all they're saying, to take care of our employment problem in a rural area. Everybody wins, because niggas don't care. Their life is expendable. Now let me say something about that we the black. The major problem white people who are in charge and fear black people is because they fear that we will do to them what they did to us. The second thing is, y'all niggas is invincible. We tried slavery, we tried alcohol, we tried heroin, we tried AIDS, HIV, and y'all just keep multiplying. We done wiped out everybody in history, but y'all niggas we got 2 million y'all in jail and y'all still motherfucking doing y'all thing? Cause we gods. You understand? When we landed on this planet as an experiment and we multiplied, that brain power from that other planet is still here. You understand? But media controls us. Hence the reason why I have a media company.
How do you feel about, since we're talking about racism, how do you feel about Kanye West's comments?
Oh, yeah.
He has influence, so it's like...
I agree with some of them.
I feel like he stated it the wrong way, but
I agree with some of his comments. I believe that he was way out of line in saying slavery was a choice.
Okay.
So
Right?
it's choice of words.
I believe I'm gonna look like the asshole probably in the end. I did a whole show on this. I probably look like the ass at the end of the day, but I believe that Kanye is lying.
On purpose?
I believe this is a ploy to get national attention so he can enter the political arena.
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
Right? I believe that people are so naive and impulsive that you can make a statement not knowing it's calculated. However, what creates the doubt is that the Kardashian machine has the ability to warp the reality of a black person. When you gain a certain wealth, gives you white privilege, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm not black, I'm OJ, right? Jay-Z song. So wealth gives you white privilege. What whites have every day, the poorest white has the privilege of walking down the street, not being harassed by the police, not being second guessed, getting the red carpet rolled out, not having to be marginalized because of the color of their skin. When you wealthy, you walk in the store, you famous, people know you, people give you shit for free. They do the shit that they do to white people all the time. Discount. The more money I made in my life, the less I pay for shit. Trust me when I tell you, the less I pay for shit. So now, I believe the Kardashian machine has the ability to warp your sense of reality because everywhere they go, they receive beyond white privilege.
So if he had a black wife, it would have been different?
Oh, hell yeah. She'd been digging in his ass
Yeah,
a long time ago. Oh, shit.
You lose a sense of reality.
She would've
when
Not a Jamaican queen, man. She'd have stabbed the shit out of me already. What the fuck you talking? No way in hell.
It's crazy how every black men that go there is like the Get Out movie.
Every
single
and I believe Kris Jenner, you know, which is the most attractive Kardashian to me. You know, I want to stick something in her just to straighten out. But Kris, I think because of her age, her lack of self-drive, her inability to be married, because she will never be able to be matched equally
yeah.
to step up. Because anytime you marry, you should marry where you're stepping up. Don't marry for love. Marry with somebody that has the same agenda that you to survive and create a legacy, even if it's your cousin.
So you don't believe in marrying for love?
You gotta love her too, but like...
Nah, you gotta like her more than you love her. I've been married close to 20 years. I'm on my 4th marriage. And what I've learned in marriage is I really, really like my queen. I like her. You know what I mean? And although I'm an advocate for polygamy, which is another issue, but I think you really have to like the person. To be in love, too many of our women The biggest problem with black women in America is they forget that it's their job to fix America. They forget that they are the greatest creation of God. They forget that, right? And too many of them is loving losers. And there's too many losers manufactured because the real men are locked up, killed, or wiped away because they're a threat to the white establishment. So now, lames become the norm. They allow y'all to walk with your pants off your ass. They allow y'all, y'all accept so much lame shit as women. But you don't know it is lame shit because that's all you know. You didn't know, damn, it's another side.
That's what you grow up to.
Man, you a man? I ain't never had a man. Wow, that's what a man is? Like holding the door, walking on the inside, building her up. How does he make you better? Shit, that's what I ask all women that I deal with. Sisters, cousins, stuff like that. Like, how does that man make you better? I don't give a fuck about how good his dick is. I don't give a fuck how good his mouth is, his lingua. I want to know, does he make you better?
Shouldn't it go both ways too, though? Because they do got girls too that don't make the guy better either.
Well, the difference with guys is that men are stupid, right? And women are smarter. So now we going someplace else now. I don't know where we going, but you asked, so we gonna go there. See, this is the way it works. 99% of the time, a man is driven by fear or his desire. His woman could remove his fear. A woman will convince a man to go in a building with a bomb up and blow the whole shit up because he disrespect her weave. Right? A woman can gas a man up to go fight 6 people because they felt her ass. Some crazy shit where he won't value himself. I'm a man. That's what a man's supposed to do, especially when you're a boy that's just angry and think you tough, right? So, but the difference with women is they congregate on how to lock us down and how to deal with us and how to outthink us. They mama teach them. That's their conversations. That's their daily conversation. Girl, yeah, he tried to do this and he told me this. What? You went for that?
Yeah.
No, what? No, what he trying to do is for real. Oh, I didn't even look at it like that. And that's how women talk every day. Men
talking about the game.
Yo, son, you see the game? So and so got, he killing. How much money you think Jay-Z got? Yeah. Dumb shit, right? You won't call me and say, yo,
you think she doing
this woman just said some shit, got me fucked up. We need to talk.
Yeah, because guys have an ego. They don't
I
want to.
just don't care.
You don't want to look like less of a man in front of your friends.
Right, but you do. You end up doing it anyway.
Yeah.
Instead of coming and say, yo, OG, pull me up on this, man. I need some game. Because she just shot some shit. I don't know. I don't understand. Why was she doing all this sexual stuff to me? She got to love me if she doing that. And then she went and did this. I don't understand.
Yeah.
Oh, it's real simple, son. The sexual stuff had nothing to do with you. She just needed a dick at the time. And she do that because that's what gets her off. And she told you this to make you feel better about the situation. But she's not really that into you. You're not really that dude like that. She just told you that. Oh, word? Yeah, that's what women do. Damn. All right, thank you. We don't do that. My wife said this to me. What you think? Me and my brothers do that. We old school. You know what I mean? But for y'all don't do that. Till there's a crisis. Oh, my God.
It's already too late by then.
Right. I got a 31-year-old. He only calls me if it's a crisis. The longest we ever talked is when he was having an issue with his woman.
Yeah.
Everything else is your pop. I gotta go. I'm moving. My mom just got a movie dropped. I'm out with my moms. He's not, trying to get sharper. With them, they get sharper naturally. So that's what makes us stupid, because we don't consult each other. We don't even talk. We don't even have round table discussions on how we are going to be better men for the whole world. What does it take for us to be better men? We don't have those type of conversations.
Not just about relationships either. We should have conversations about life in general.
Right. Or just hygiene.
Yeah.
Like, yo, what you do? Yeah, I shave everything all on my body, and this what I do, so ain't no funk. When I take my drawers off, you ain't gonna smell no elephant shit.
Yeah, when you say stuff like that.
Stuff like that.
Guys would be like, pause, that's gay. I don't
Right, because they insecure. Right? The fact that I come from the culture that the city that created pause. Why? Because some inadequate, bi-curious, wannabe gay dude, everything you said, oh, that's gay, that's because he's fighting himself. I don't have to say pause or nothing, because ain't no man ever going to think I want him. So I don't have to play the pause game. There's nothing I'm going to say that's ever going to be misconstrued. Oh, that sound gay. You understand what I'm saying?
It's more like a joke, man.
I don't know.
Nah, some people be serious.
Listen to this.
And those be the ones that gay.
Listen to this line. There's a lot of truth in jest. People say the truth while laughing, but it's really the truth. And people try to make it seem like, oh, we just joking. Oh, I was just joking, but you know you wasn't.
They're covering it
You
up.
found a way to tell me the truth, and you laughed about it and made me feel better. That's what they do.
It makes them feel better
It
too.
makes them feel better. I got that shit off. I've been wanting to tell that bitch about herself. You understand what I'm saying? These are the games they play.
How you feel about cheating? Like, is there a way to go back? Like, your wife cheated on you. Are you able to forgive her and move on, or?
Well,
Because I know you have experiences.
so now you're getting me in trouble.
You say you into polygamy,
Right.
so like,
Well, I was gonna say the ties into polygamy, like what do you feel about that and why you agree with it, why you're an advocate for it.
Why am I an advocate for polygamy? We are in a state of a crisis in the Black, African American, and Latino community. Anytime you hear me say Black, I'm talking about Latins, dark people. That's everybody that's look like me, you, and everybody else in between, all the colors, right? So that's Latinos included. We are in a crisis. You can't have 1.2 million men incarcerated, right? And it not have a traumatic effect on our dating pool. You can't have so much. It's very important for people to make our youth homosexual. And what I mean by that is, if you're a freak and you have these desires and urges, you know you like affection and you passionate, right? You just a freak, right? So I'm speaking as a freak. You like to freak off, right? So when you're young, you don't know this freakiness has a limit, right?
You're just testing things out.
You don't have to go over to the guy's side because you was born to be a man. Now, individuals that were born and said, look, something went wrong with the chemistry of my construction, and I feel that I'm a woman, I'm excluding them. Let me be very clear. I am excluding individuals who feel that they were born a woman, but they have a penis. I'm excluding them. I'm talking about boys who are confused. And because the culture, the environment, the agreement, the acceptance, that little fat boy that's not taught, yo, go run your ass and stop eating them yoo-hoos and cupcakes and all that so you can have some sex appeal because girls gonna want you if you look better. If nobody's there to implement that in his life, and the homos is like, come over here, girl, come over here, and all that other shit, I'm getting acceptance. I'm getting attention. It's okay. I'll suck a little dick for that. But inside, you really want to be accepted by a woman. Then it becomes a community that says, we gay, we strong, anything that you do, that somebody messes with you, we got your back. So it's like a family. So now this confused young man is saying, damn, I'm getting all this love over here. Let me go over here and hang out with the heterosexuals. And it's survival of the fittest over here, young blood. We don't allow the weak to survive over here. Oh, I gotta get out of there. Let me go back over here. Now, that's a woman who has lost a husband. That's a child who has lost a father. That's a family who has lost the patriarch to lead that family. That is a man that is not available to stand up for the community and say, I am here to make a difference because we are in a crisis.
I never thought about it. It's like cause and effect. You just broke it down. Yeah.
Right? So now you're eliminated. So now white power structure is like,
This is what we've been doing.
another less aggressive black man. We love those heels. Put them on the cover of Vogue. Let's advertise and create another million of them because we don't have to worry about them.
Let's
Because
multiply.
these motherfuckers is invincible. And we gotta keep them back. Because it's only a matter of time before they coming for what we took away. Right? like the Africans in South Africa are doing now. They saying, wait a minute, hold up. Y'all a minority, y'all know that, right? You live in a big house, why? It's my house now. And the government is saying, you're right. So when the government told the first individual that took the white man's house, you're right. This is entitled to you. The rest of the blacks said, I'm going to the suburbs. And now the whites is out there all shooting together. They coming for us. Yeah, they coming for what was theirs. So American mindset is the same thing. No, we can't have them coming back. We have to make them less threatening. So, now let me reel it back to your original question. When individuals don't want women, that makes more women can't find a man. Right? When men are incarcerated, that's more women, right, that can't find a man. When men are on the down low, that's more women that can't find a man. Then when a man says, I am monogamous, I'm only to my wife, which is a European concept. These white people created these laws that you gotta go get married and get a document to certify that y'all married so they could tax you differently. Has nothing to do with your love, your union, your commitment, you making kids and having it. It's business. America is a business, right? So now, in our African tradition, we got these 3 women. They not producing kids. They not being fulfilled as women. No, those 2 is yours. These 2 are yours. These 2 is yours. Everybody got somebody? Yeah. Who ain't got nobody? I ain't got nobody. Give her to grandfather. Because it's important as a woman for her to have a man. It's important for her to have a child, to feel like a woman. How's she gonna do that? So now the women is saying, I ain't gay, but I need companionship, I need affection, I need somebody to take care of me, I need somebody to have my back. Other women is saying, I was abused as a child. I want nothing to do with men no more. Think about that dynamics. An abuser abused you and you use that as a reason to not ever give a man a chance. That's just trauma. So now they turn to each other for companionship. Because they're saying, every time I see a lesbian couple where one of them is portraying masculinity, is saying, you let me down. The males have let me down, so now I have to mimic you. You could try to mimic all you want, you're never going to be me. Right? So now the dating pool comes larger and larger and larger. How do we fix it?
How do we fix it?
The way we fixing it, this is how we've been fixing it since after Vietnam War. This dude got 7 baby mamas. Within those 7 baby mamas, 3 and 4 of them know each other. They be arguing, fighting, calling each other. He over there? No, he ain't right, girl. I ain't see him. He must be over there. Whatever the case may be. Indirect polygamy. Right? Or you're a husband. I'm committed to my wife. I take care of my wife. I take care of my family. She get my money, my time. I'm home every night. However, these 6 women need some comfort. And I like the comfort that these 6 women give me. That's how we've been dealing with this shit. Or the guy who gets kicked out of his mama house. He go to Christine's house. He go to Crystal house. He go to Cheryl's house. She get tired of him. He go to her house. She get tired of him. He go back over this house. And he's saying, I'm putting a baby up in this. Because then the bitch will be distracted with the baby. And she's sitting there with a baby. Dysfunction. That's how we've been dealing with it. So if you know the nature of a man, which let's get into that. The nature of a man. I don't want to mispronounce your name. What's your name?
Christina.
Christina. So, Christina has the ability, if she's ovulating right now, to get pregnant, right? How many times a year can you get pregnant? Scientifically.
Scientifically?
Yeah. How many times in a 12-month span can you get pregnant?
1 month.
On average, 1 time, right? And then you have the inability, right? Now,
No, unless if you're ovulating again.
can't ovulate when you're pregnant.
Well, I know what I'm saying. In an ovulation period.
Right. I'm talking about after you're pregnant.
Yeah.
Scientific, right? Okay. Now, if you call every girl in your phone, I could get them all pregnant this week if they all ovulate. Is that a scientific fact?
If they're all ovulating, yeah.
That's what I said, right? I could impregnate this whole building before the week is out. Is that scientifically a fact?
Yeah.
Now let's take it a step further. If we go into deep science, from one ejaculation, right? If they could separate every sperm cell from one teaspoon of cum, if they could separate every sperm cell, I could impregnate this whole city. Why are we monogamous? We are monogamous because of European structure, TV programming, school programming, and religious programming. Told you, no, black man, marry one so that the rest of your race could be in dysfunction. Because there's only a handful of us. We are the global minority. White people, they are the global minority. They have to stick together. They have to say, me and you gonna create a family and do this because we got 80 acres of land they gave us, and we gonna keep having kids and take care of this land, right? Africans said the village take care of the land. It don't belong to us. So we gonna keep having all these children as long as God allows us to, and we gonna provide for them because the village provides, not the individual. White Europeans have the privilege to say we gonna be self-sufficient because the government always gave y'all everything. Blacks is still running around talking about no. So if you know you have a baby father and he has other baby mamas and y'all all communicate and go school shopping together, it's time for y'all to stop playing games, put the egos to the side, and start pooling that money together. Because if y'all pool that money together, live in the same household, and domesticate his ass, so he knows, listen, you don't have the energy, the strength, or the money to go outside this house to be having sex. You got 3 of us, 2 of us in this household raising all these kids together. It's never a situation of daddy's over here, the kids is over there, all the kids in the same household, baby mamas in the same household. The problem when I talk about this is people sexualize it. Oh, he want to be freaking off in bed all the time with 2 women, or ain't nobody got no energy for that.
I don't even see the woman herself saying okay to that though.
There's millions of black women in America that's practicing this, directly and indirectly.
Call it the science shit.
They
know they
yeah.
So.
You know you the side chick, and you don't mind being the side chick because you'd rather have a piece of a man than none of no man. They'll take a fraction of a man rather than a whole boy. They don't want that. How does he make you better? So if I can make 6 women better, I don't want 6 women.
That's too much.
Right? But if I can make 6 women better, raise all my children out of them 6 women, provide for all of those 6 women, and all of us pool our resources and income together, shit, we'll be Mormons. See, when the white man do it, it's called Mormon. It's okay. Right?
That's funny.
We have a TV show about it. It's okay. Because 99.5% of black women want to be taken care of, want to live in a house, want their own space, want to not have to worry about their kids, right? Because they sister wife got the kids today. Every sister wife got their time. I don't know if you ever seen the show. I don't even know the name of the show. They had a show with the Mormons and showing their lifestyle and showing how they share duties and all that. They have a schedule. He got to sleep with this one tonight, that one, that one, that one, that one, that one, and all that, right? Go to Utah. This is the practice that they stole from Africans, right? It works for them because they recognize this is where we at. We're not going to have these women out here not having no man. So the sexist women, the feminists, who are so upset at men because we let them down. They have every right to be upset by saying no to polygamy. They'll run and support same-sex marriage, though. They'll make laws about it. They'll protest and fight. But when you say, well, I want multiple wives, watch the uproar that happen in that. Because y'all sharing anyway. So let's share with an economic agenda involved. Let's share with a legacy involved. Let's share that what is my wife's lives gonna look like in 40 years from now, based on what we doing today. Y'all retirement gonna be real good because we got 3 pensions, 3 businesses, all that type of stuff going on. What is the mindset of our children who seeing daddy every day?
Instead of separate homes.
You paying rent for $1,800 over here. You paying rent for $2,200 over here. When a mortgage for a 2-family probably won you $2,000. You bugging. You driving your car and you driving your car. Y'all going to the same destination. No, one car, same destination. Cut down on mileage, maintenance, gas, so on and so on. There's so many perks and pluses to polygamy. Rather than, oh, but then he's going to run around and go see a side chick anyway. See? They sexualize it. That's their argument all the time. They sexualize it. Why is he the one benefiting? And then they do the stupid shit, right? This is, and I am not criticizing black women. I am stating the condition of black women because we let them down. What they say is, oh, then why can't we have the same privilege? Because there ain't a shortage of women. It's to fix the shortage. And I'm not talking about a shortage of males. I'm saying there's a shortage of men. Because ain't no male, an old ass boy don't have the mentality to maintain 2 women in the same household. Women are crazy. So it's enough to deal with 1 woman at home. So you got the wherewithal. I wrote a book, Gambling with Hearts. I wrote a book about
it called?
Gambling with Hearts. Right? About the whole dynamics. So having 2 in a household,
it's already too much.
Yeah, I don't know if it's a
for the average guy.
Yeah,
right?
too much.
But when that man naturally loves multiple women, right? Because women say there's no way you can be in love with more than 1 woman. You don't know how a man is built. That's bullshit.
Yeah, women say that's not true.
Right, because they're God's greatest creation. We the one that went and bit the apple because of what she wanted.
And they feel like
we the dumbasses.
Yeah.
Adam taught you in the Bible, you're stupid.
She
Deal with it.
She gonna make you do whatever.
Don't try to fight it. Just deal with it. You understand what I'm saying? I've surrendered. I know I am not as smart as women combined all together. I'm just not as smart. Because at the end of the day, they know how to deal with my desires, greater than my fears, and they know how to remove my fears. So that's my take on polygamy.
That was pretty good actually. You broke down a couple of things. So like, what's next for you as far as like books or whatever? Screenwriting. Elisa Gabrielle and myself, we have 10 movies completed, about 4 TV shows completed. I have a musical I want to do. I have a theatrical presentation that Elisa Gabrielle and I want to do called The Jungle. It's about, it's a musical about guys on death row.
Wow.
So we want to do that. Right now we need an agent that is, everybody wants to work with us, but we don't want to work with everybody. Because, it's very important that I have someone with integrity, not someone just trying to hustle me. Because I have not developed well enough to not take it personal when you don't want to feed my family. I'm going to hurt you. So to avoid going that far, I like somebody to be just professional. Just have integrity, be professional. And understand that when people spend months developing work, it's part of their life. It's like your children. Writing these books, they're like your children.
It is your life.
You know what I mean? And I got a full-time job, and no respectable Jamaican has less than 4 jobs, right? So I got 4 jobs, right? So, and I'm a full-time dad and a husband. So to have all that, and then I gotta find the time to write 365 pages or 100 pages, and somebody to play with that, when it's real money involved, $300,000-$400,000 to $2 million for one thing that I wrote, I need somebody that has integrity. So Lisa, Gabrielle, and I, we're a different partnership than most people will see, because our shit is tight.
tight. Our work is tight. Our integrity, the level that we set for ourselves for perfection in our work that we put out is different than anybody else that's out there. I guarantee it. So, screenplays. The ultimate goal is to be an executive of the entire network.
That's good.
We want one of these networks that's suffering or just don't know which way they want to go and really want to dominate. Because TV is corny. When you get to the point of television where you bringing back shows from 1970 something and remaking them,
you lack content.
You lack content.
See, Bill Cosby trying to buy NBC.
Yeah, I did a whole show on that. That was way back in the 80s, Bill
You
Cosby.
see that sports, music.
With Bill
You can't
Cosby.
make content at all.
Bill Cosby, okay.
Yeah, you might as well segue into that.
Yeah, you did.
Bill Cosby.
The story, didn't you?
Bill Cosby taught my generation what fatherhood was. He was the leading figure in putting an end to single parenting in the black community. He was the leading figure that programmed us to love and cherish our children. He was the key figure in programming the world to accept that black men took care of their families and were not all niggas. Right? That ain't gonna sit well with people. And then have the audacity to say, you gave me an opportunity to make the money, now I want you to work for me.
Or work with me.
No, work for me. I'm buying NBC. I got the money, I got the backers, I got everybody here. And the black backers that was backing him died. Coincidentally. Look into who Reginald Lewis is. Right? So now, when you talk about Reginald Lewis getting ready to be, from Beatrice Foods, getting ready to be the first black billionaire, officially, telling Bill, I got you. When you're looking at other black wealthy individuals saying, we got you. We gonna buy NBC. All of a sudden, Bill Cosby's son gets murdered. Bill Cosby's daughter gets abused to the point where she starts using crack cocaine. So Bill got to deal with his son dying, his daughter being cracked out running the streets, his family under attack, people trying to take his life, assassinate him, and he ducked and matrixed his way through all that bullshit. Now he comes back around and says, now we in a position to make a power move. BET showed y'all, that was all right. Y'all let BET slide. Because BET was a machine to program niggas to kill each other. NWA, gangster rap, BET, booty shaking, freak Nick, don't stop, get it. BET did all that. That's part of the white agenda. So we let y'all go ahead and be niggas. They always let us be niggas. Till it's time to really profit and get some power with it? No. Now we got a problem. BET, you get too big, buy him. We're gonna make you a billionaire. It's nothing to us. $1 billion ain't nothing. So what is Robert Johnson gonna do? Yeah, I'll sell it. So now Bill comes back around and says, this culture is ready for black ownership to accept us owning a major network. It's crazy. Listen to how we have to talk about it. In 2018, it's odd that a black person want to own a TV network and they got the money to buy it. And what happens? Everybody jumps out. He drugged me and he has sex with me. So look at the dynamics of where we are today with attention, likes, followers. This is the program you're receiving. You are more valuable as a person if you have more followers or likes. I have more equity than you. I have 1 million followers. There's people that actually talk like this.
Yeah, they don't know.
Right? I'm a public figure. I have over 100,000 followers. Right? Can you imagine how many followers I get if I say Bill Cosby drugged me and raped me? And I'm totally irrelevant. Nobody don't even know me. because me and Bill hung out, got high, and fucked all night. Now I'm flipping it. And then the powers that be says, this really worked to your advantage if you testify.
They probably paying her off too.
I mean,
But Bill was a freak and he used to drug bitches and put them to sleep and have sex with
that's
them.
what I'm saying. Even if he did do
Why? Because in my mind, I don't know. In my mind, I don't know. But in my mind, right? If you drugged, you can't really say what I did and you can't jeopardize my household. Because one thing I'm going to do is protect my queen. And you're not going to bring no shame on my queen.
Wasn't that a thing back then too, though?
I don't know. Listen, if I'm a cheat, I want somebody to do something my wife is not going to do. Really immoral, debasing, and never say no to. You can't do that when you sleep. I can't relate to that. I don't want somebody dead. I can't relate. But if that's Bill's thing, you understand?
Yeah.
But my problem is when these women were swallowing the pills, sniffing the coke, shooting the heroin, you gonna put that all on Bill? In that era? Same thing I'll say about my man Russell Simmons. I'm gonna go on the line to defend Russell Simmons. I'm Russell Simmons. I live a rock star lifestyle. We sniff coke, smoke weed, pop pills all day, every day. I don't even remember having sex with you women. And now you saying I took advantage of you. You wasn't sniffing this coke up. You wasn't in the car. You wasn't in the restaurants. You ain't hang out at night with me. You ain't freak off with her. This is the rock star lifestyle. So now when you bring allegations, oh, you was you're part of the rape culture. Yes, I was. That was the culture I was from. I got rich off of music that minimizes the value of black women. That is my lifestyle. But it's the way people write it out. It's the story we hear. Me Too movement. Now we got movement, a gang, a family, acceptance. I'm a part of something. I'm relevant. See? And it's instant now. Because if I put We the Blacks sells a few copies every week, right? So now, if Trevor Noah says, hey, ladies and gentlemen, I want great Zach Tate on the show today. I read your book, We the Blacks. Oh my God, I was blown away. How many copies you think I sold? The next day.
250,000.
2 million. I sell 2 million books in the first week. Now, do I want that light to stop?
No, you wanted to grow.
I want it to grow. So if I got to compromise a little over here and compromise a little here, you know what happens? I'm in the Kardashian household. Because once I get in the Kardashian household, that's 12 million copies.
Everything's good, huh?
And when Chris says, I need you to walk over here, Jack, don't walk over there. Shit. I've been to Greece, Ipanema, and Africa in 2 weeks with this bitch. I'm not telling her no. See how it's all relevant to the attention, the instant gratification, the wealth, all that comes. We live in a society that the camera can make or break you. So now, I'm a victim, you're a victim, you're a victim, you're a victim, you're a victim. We all victims. We part of the Me Too movement, and I'm starting an organization over here for women's rights, and now it turns into another monster. You know, it's very scary where we are. And it takes the educated to not be the indoctrinated.
That makes sense. I mean, this was the longest interview we had, but we definitely learned a couple of things. I'm not gonna lie.
Very.
Wow.
With Zach Tate, we definitely enjoyed having you here. Hopefully,
enjoy being here.
we work together and like do something.
I'm across the street every day. Right across the street.
Definitely work together.
I guarantee when you drive, you're going to see me in a golf cart.
Yeah.
Guarantee. Every day.
So tell everybody where they can find you and where they can find your work.
Great Zach Tate on all forms of social media. Zach Tate on all forms of YouTube, Google, Twitter, Instagram, LinkedIn, Facebook. Zach Tate, Great Zach Tate Show every Wednesday night, 7 p.m. Blog Talk Radio Live, Instagram Live, Facebook Live, Periscope Live, all at the same exact time every Wednesday night. Anything has to be in contact with me, you got to go through the boss, Lisa Gabrielle Entertainment. Lisa Gabrielle Incorporated, Lisa Gabrielle Music. She's the next Oprah, so it's like she got everything going on. So, you know, they can find us there. And I just want to thank everybody for tuning in, listening, and appreciate the time that y'all gave me. And I'm here to be the uncle to whoever need me. Just let me know, man. Motivational speaker, screenwriter, author, OG, uncle, retired gangster, whatever you want it to be.
I appreciate that. It's for the culture.
All for the culture.